Episode 7, Re-orient your political map. A few months ago, I sat in a room with retired generals, Republicans like Michael Steele, ex-governors, and congresspeople. We were scenario planning how to prevent Trump from using the Insurrection Act, for example, using it to target civilian protesters. So we were looking at step-by-step who would give the orders and how to avoid the worst outcomes. So for committed anti-war activists like me, it was a weird experience. So I left realizing that a Trump presidency really reshapes alignments and possibilities. So for one, Trump is bellicose and blasphemous, and all of the language that he's been saying has to meet the practical reality of governing. When you're out of power, it's easy to unify, but already we're seeing cracks in Trump's coalition. They're going to fight each other. We have to stay sharp and ready to exploit these opportunities. But second is, how do we position ourselves? It really matters. Are we going to engage people who are unhappy with the regime, whether they support institutions that Trump undermines or they just dislike his policies? Are we going to spend time explaining how we got here and providing political education? Or are we going to spend more time in ideological purity, preaching only to the choir? So even if you're not the person to engage with people who are different than you, you're going to have to give space for those of us who are, people who are experimenting with new language. And we're going to see a lot of people trying different ways to connect with new communities to bring them into our vision of a multiracial democracy. A little bit of empathy might be helpful here. So at the end of that scenario that I mentioned, the generals, they went around the room and they said, we can't stop Trump from giving these orders. We'd have to carry them out. And the politician said, Congress can't stop it. The lawyer said, we can't stop it either. And actually, I felt a lot of pain in the powerful figures admitting defeat. It was only the activists who said, we have an approach to mass non-cooperation that can stop this, but we need your help to participate in it. I don't know how well that was received. We'll see in the coming years, I suppose. But if we're going to live into that power, and I don't know if we can, but if we're going to live into that power, then we have to get real about talking about power. So in the next video, we're going to talk about that in even more depth.